What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos by hitting that notification bell, by subscribe button as well. If you'd like to donate to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, y'all can do so. I'm about to put the link into the chat box. Y'all can click that link. Cash App, $ BJ Matthews, PayPal at Project Masters. Y'all can do y'all thing. Hit that like button, get the notifications out there as well. Let's get it popping. We got a good one for y'all right now. All right, man. So I just thought about this, and I said to myself, you know what? Let's do a video on this particular subject because I was in the Clipper group earlier today on the Facebook, and I heard a few people talk about the Shai GILGEOUS Alexander trade for Paul George. Now, of course, many Clipper fans reminiscence back, and I'm pretty sure OKC Thunder fans as well talk about this day when they had a move where SGA was traded from the LA Clippers at the time for Paul George and OKC in the summer 2019. A lot of things are happening in that off season where there was players, you know what I'm saying, moving around, looking to find out their best deals and contracts. A lot of stuff was happening. Kawhi Leonard, of course, was moved to the Clippers from Toronto. Kevin Durant was moved to Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving was moved to Brooklyn. Um, just a lot of stuff happening at that. The offseason was very interesting, right? So this was a big move because it came out of nowhere and it came in a duo with Kawhi Leonard, who left Toronto to come to the Clippers. And like literally right after, like a few minutes later, they announced that Paul George is traded from the OKC Thunder to the Los Angeles Clippers for SGA and 5 draft picks. I'll never forget that day. That day was if I don't mistake, that was the day where they had that big earthquake. I think it's like a 6 point something out here in California. So it was just a crazy day, right? Um, but the question goes back to say, should the Clippers have traded SGA for Paul George? And reason why people are saying that's because SGA is kind of just evolved into, I won't say a superstar, but he's definitely an all-star. He had his first all-star appearance this season. He's averaging 30 points per game, 30.2 points per game. So he's snapping. Um, if I look at the standings right now, they're in 11th seed, so they're right outside the play. And I had thought originally, to be quite honest with you, I feel like the Thunder were still like 2 or 3 seasons away before they even made the playoffs. But it looks like they're gonna probably, make that, if not this year, for sure next year. Because it's just, when I look at the West, it's so wide open. I look at teams. There's gonna be teams that's gonna be out of the mix very soon, like the Lakers, the Trailblazers. The Pelicans are looking iffy. The Timberwolves are, we don't know what they're gonna do. So there's not too many teams that are just sure lock-ins for like the next 2, 3 seasons. I'll even say the Clippers. Like once Kawhi and PG, leave, or one of them leave, you don't know how good the Clippers are gonna be. So the Thunder, being a young team, almost like a damn near college team, they're gonna be around for the next 5 to 10 years, right? So this move SGA for PG, the reason why people ask that question is because the Clippers haven't won a championship yet. So they say to themselves, well, what was the point of making that move if we haven't won a championship? I'm gonna go through a few things, and I'm gonna, not be too long about this. But of course, the question is, should the Clippers have traded SGA for PG? Now, if we look at the two, what they've accomplished and their careers, let's see. Um, let's pull it up. SGA has been in the league for 5 years. Paul George 13. Um, of course, PG's been into 10 playoff games. SGA has been in 2, and those are the years with the Clippers. In SGA has been in 1 All-Star game, which was this year. Paul George has been to 8. If we also look at the also other awards, individual All NBA First Team, SGA 0, Paul George 1. All NBA teams 6 to Paul George to SGA 0. All defensive teams First Team, PG 2 to SGA 0. All defensive teams in total, Paul George 4, SGA 0. Steals leader, Paul George has led the whole league in steals 1 time, and SGA has not. Now, I read all that out for a reason, because people want to say, well, should we have made that move? Got to think of the time that move was made. Again, this is back in 2019. SGA was just coming into the league. I think that was his rookie season and going to his second year where they made that trade. So he hasn't been he hasn't been he wasn't around. He was just kind of fresh. I think this the first year in OKC, uh, he played like a limited amount of games, and Chris Paul led that team to the playoffs that year. So no one really knew about SGA until really actually this season. I'm talking about like on a big scope. Like no one really knew about SGA until like this year. I was vouching for SGA. Y'all can actually go back in my videos. There was a point when I put SGA. I said that I feel like they should have traded him for AD, the Lakers, because I feel like SGA and AD would be a even trade. Because if you want to look at the future and try to build around LeBron, which I think is a mistake, you would have got SGA because he can continue the culture in LA. The Lakers need a shakeup right now, right? I think AD needs a fresh start somewhere else. I don't think AD's particularly damaged goods. Y'all been seeing him just kill with the absence of LeBron. I just think what AD needs to do is just build up his body in the summertime and stop spending so much time on the skills. He needs to spend more time in the weight room to build his body up and his bones. But nonetheless, if we look at the head-to-head matchups between PG and SGA, this is the head-to-head matchups. PG is the top, SGA is the bottom. He's averaging 21 points to SGA 16, rebounds, PG 6.8, SGA 3.4, assists 4.0 to PG, 3.6 to SGA. If I look at the steals and blocks, steals, PG's averaging 1.1 to SGA's 1.2, and then blocks is 0.4 to 0.5 for SGA. So 4 out of 6 categories, or 5 out of the was it 3 out of 5 categories? What I can't even count. Yeah, 3 out of 5 categories, PG leads SGA. Right now, remember we're paying attention to if they should have made this move. I think what we can basically see is PG as was at the time a better player than SGA. So we can't ask the question we should have not traded SGA for PG, because that was something where nobody really knew about SGA at the time. The Clippers are in win now mode. They're not looking at the future. They're looking at winning now. If you look at their last 4 seasons, the only real season they really failed at was their first year in the bubble. The second year they got to the conference finals, Kawhi Leonard got hurt. Last year, Kawhi Leonard was hurt and Paul George only played 36 games, so they weren't going to win. And now this year, here we are in year 4. So this is the year that people was gonna really find out, was this move worth it to trade PG for SGA, because SGA he's trending up, right? Paul George I think got about 2-3 more prime years, and then he'll probably like end up having like 1 or 2 more years, and then he'll be done around 37, 38. So he got about 5-6 years. He got about 2 years to really go after that championship this year and probably next year, right? So if you ask me the ground question, was it worth it? I mean, yeah, because PG was a better player than SGA, and I still think he's a better player. Some people may disagree with that, but I think PG is more seasoned. I think what PG did in 2021, taking his team to the conference finals in that hostile environment, I think SGA was not ready for that. And then the whole story would be, oh, SGA wasn't the guy. So it's easy to make a narrative when stuff is going on really fast. But I just think that from what PG has already done with this team and what he's been able to carry the load, I think he is more than capable of being a second option on a championship team. You know what I'm saying? And I think people need to stop living in the past. Oh, this is SGA. He should have been he should we should have kept him. I mean, SGA hasn't led the Thunder to no playoffs. He's in year 5 right now, actually. PG, I think in year 4 led the Pacers to the playoffs, and he was facing up a LeBron James Miami super team where he took to 7 games. The next season he took him to 6 games. So I think years 4 and 5, PG was already in the playoffs deep. Now people may say, well, Indiana had a better overall team. That may be the case. But again, I'm just going by what PG has accomplished. People I think don't understand his whole career has been pretty solid, right? So I think people just got appreciate PG, man, and I think he's good enough to win a championship for the Clippers. But that's nonetheless to say, y'all check out my YouTube page, Cash App, $ BJ Matthews, Broderick Matthews is the PayPal. Until next time, we respectfully say, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace out of here, like swim well.